We already established that The Sims 3 is much more brutal than Sims 4. Managing single sim in The Sims 3 was quite challenging, so why not try 7 sims at once? Yes, I decided to complete Surrounded by Family lifestyle aspiration, which had my sim want to raise 5 children from babies to teens. And wow, what the journey this was. It was quite different than what I expected, and it did help me appreciate The Sims 3 on a whole new level, especially after I tried the same challenge in The Sims 4. The disparity between these two games when it comes to quality and detail is shocking, especially that I was just playing the base game of The Sims 3, no DLC at all. But yeah, let's start from the beginning. So like in every other Sims challenge, we start with making our Sims, and our heroes are Zachary, spelled with X, and Catalina. So yeah, we need to make a couple because we're gonna make children, and I decided that it's just fair to start as a couple rather than trying to find a sim to have babies with, because that's another layer which I just didn't want to deal with. And Catalina is the one with the family aspiration, so it's her dream that we're fulfilling. Catalina is excitable, she's a mood, she's good, she's absent-minded, and of course, family-orientated, because they want to have a huge family. While Zachary is natural cook, he's clumsy, childish, and family-orientated. I don't know what the last trait is for him, I've just forgot. And just for funsies, we gave him the celebrated 5-star chef aspiration, so he also has a goal in life. I didn't want to give him the same one. So we selected the house we want to move in, and straight off the bat, this game started interesting because we got the challenge. Oh no, the house you've purchased appears to have suffered from a water main breakage. Would you like to accept the challenge of dealing with the flooding? So you can ignore it or you can accept it, but that straight off the bat starts with something interesting to do in your house. So yeah, our whole house was flooded. It was a cheap little house, so that makes sense, but we had to actually spend ages fixing everything, which was, you know what, a good beginning to the series because we got a skill straight off the bat. But it's fun you actually get a neighbor coming in to try to help you fix the pipes. That's fun. After we dealt with the pipes and we said hello to our neighbors, we cleaned up and then we had to get a job because, again, we need to survive in this challenge. We're gonna have a lot of mouths to feed. Catalina was the first one to get a job and she went for law enforcement. Zachary made a salad and we bought a TV because, like, it's crazy that there are houses built in Sims 3 without TVs. Those were different times. Since Zachary was a naturally born cook and he wanted to be a 5-star chef, of course we went for culinary career. After getting food and job, it's time to finally start family. So we tried for the baby. And the life went on. I was thinking, you know, it's a done deal. We're just waiting for the baby. But it turns out trying for baby in The Sims 3 is trying for baby. It's not make baby button like it is in Sims 4. So I was playing and I didn't realize that she was not pregnant. So we had to try again and again. And then it finally happened. Oh my god, yes, Catalina. Oh my god, she got 4 weeks maternity leave. How did the work know so quickly? That's kind of scary. We shared the news with Zachary, who tapped Catalina on the shoulder and gave her thumbs up. Kids, don't try this at home. Believe me. This is where this challenge really gripped me because having to actually try and make a baby made it so much more special when Catalina became pregnant. In Sims 4, as I say, you click a button and you become pregnant. As such, you don't really want to care that much. Like, I don't never announce with my sim that they're pregnant, but with this one I wanted to tell Zachary. I did want to make those little interactions of him feeling the baby lump and everything because it felt so much more special. It's those little elements that make this game feel so special to me. And by the way, in the base game of Sims 3, they can snuggle in bed on their own. We had to wait like 10 years for an expansion in Sims 4 for that to be a reality. Just as a side note. And that was like the first initial, like just below 2 hours of gameplay, and we only got pregnant. That is just wild. To give you the comparison, when I was doing this challenge in The Sims 4, it was basically 40 minutes for me to get the baby out. So I got pregnant in the first 5 minutes of gameplay, and the baby was with us in the first 40 minutes. So yeah, that's quite a difference. Another aspect of that, it was that in The Sims 4, you don't really think about everyday management of Sims. You just tell them to do stuff, and if the AI works, they do it. Well, in The Sims 3, I found lots of little things difficult to manage. Like hygiene was a little bit difficult before work because I had a bath. That's why people recommended to have a shower, for example. And there's a lot of little things to improve your output, to basically make it more efficient for the Sims to get ready, to fulfill their needs. There's lots of little elements with that because the game is very deep. Not everything is surface level in The Sims 3. It requires you to kind of, as you play, learn new methods to do things quicker, to find easier way to do things, and that really makes it a much more appealing gaming experience. Seeing that getting pregnant was a bit of an issue, I have taken some tips of how to get twins in the first run, because if we were to do 5 children in this challenge, and every time you struggle to make a baby, I was thinking that was the best way to do it. So apparently watching kids TV, for example, and dancing was a way to do it. So that's what basically Kathleen did most of her days. We converted the other bedroom into the kids' room, so the kid has somewhere to sleep. And I know everybody mentions the open world, but I have to say that having a world where you don't have to load in from place to place encourages you to, for example, go into the park and just read a book. Whilst in Sims 4, I would never ever do that. First of all, your sim would leave books and everything else everywhere. And second, it's just like you have to load in to one place and then another. And this one, you just walk to the park and read. So I got Catalina to do some reading in the park. That was nice. Like literally my Sims in Sims 4 never leave their house, but here we went in the park, we fished a little, we swung on the swings, it was awesome. At this point I also start to really utilizing the whims or wants panel, I'm not sure what you would call this, but this panel showing what your Sims would like to happen. I feel it is so much deeper than the one in the Sims 4. And again, I love Sims 4, but there are certain things that it just baffles me, because the wants in Sims 2 and 3 are such a big part of the game. I feel like that's the main goal, is to fulfill those little wishes that your Sims have. Well, in Sims 4 I forget about them and I do them accidentally. But yeah, here they're very fun. It's like having a father read a pregnancy book, and that gives you 500 points. And that was a big part of the gameplay, was for me to try to fulfill those wishes to gain those skill points so that we can eventually get some cool traits. So that was very fun aspect of the gameplay as well. Talking of cool parts of the gameplay, we also had those random events. I'm not sure what you would call them, if it's opportunities, but there's just random events that happen where Sim is getting a call and someone wants your Sim to do something, like visit a bookstore or deliver something or make something for them, for exchange of usually money and experience points and all that stuff. And I love this, especially that it does seem to be linked with what your Sim does. So when we were doing with Catalina, we needed logic skill, that's what we were training. The opportunities were all about the logic skill. When we were doing other stuff, like let's say gardening, that's what it was based on. And for example, Zachary was keep getting opportunities that were to do with cooking, because that was his skill. And again, that keeps you interested as well. That keeps you going. That helps you develop your skills and go in certain directions. So again, another amazing thing that I really loved in this game. In The Sims 4, you do get calls, but it's usually to go somewhere, usually to like a festival or something. But here, they are specifically about kind of the skills and the path you're going with your Sim. So that's another amazing thing. But yeah, enough glazing up Sims 3. Let's go back to what happened. So we got our first child, finally. And we were at the park at the time. Oh gosh, but at least you can get a taxi from anywhere in this game, so that was nice. So our first child, Caxley, our baby girl, who apparently is a heavy sleeper and loves outdoors. We were able to choose the traits, apparently because we were reading up on pregnancies and stuff while pregnant. So if you read books about raising children and other things, you are able to choose your children's traits, which is another cool thing. And it seems that watching kids TV and dancing paid off because we had twins. That it did happen. We have twins. Oh my gosh, that makes it so much easier to do this. And we have a baby boy. Oh my gosh, that is so good. Zacharino, spelled with X, who we chose to be an evil genius, of course. We of course had to buy another crib because one is not enough. And then Catalina had a strange situation where she walked above a swimming pool. I don't know, maybe that's what new mothers do. Very strange. And it's one of the very few bugs in this game, because overall, it was pretty much bug-free for me. Even though I was very excited that we did manage to get twins, I don't think I was ready for it because clearly it became obvious that it's gonna be difficult to take care of them. As such, Catalina became stay-at-home mom, and I decided that we will instead do like a side hustle for money, because one salary is not enough in Sims 3, so we start doing gardening. Oh boy, was that a mistake. It turns out that gardening in Sims 3 is not as easy as gardening in Sims 4. It takes so much time. I also might have planted too much stuff. It does turn out that you do get more yield from less plants than in Sims 4, but it literally took me hours upon hours to tend the garden, which means that despite our small budget, nanny service was a very regular thing that we got. We basically had nannies in the house 24/7. So yeah, we were just living our life, you know, taking care of babies, collecting rocks, reading books in the darkness, as you do. Peak babysitting, standing with a baby and watching TV. Love that. And then came the first birthday of our twins. So we went to buy a cake because apparently in Sims 3 you can't just make a cake, but that's fine. We got two because we have twins. So we organized a birthday party, and seeing that my Sims had zero social life, it was consistent of just old nannies that we used to have, which we kind of made stay in our house for very long periods of time, so they all hated us. So that wasn't the greatest part of the party. It took a while for us to be able to get kids to blow out the candles, though be it was quicker than Sims 4. And that's how we got to, I think it was children. I think the previous were infants, now they're children. So we had 2 children now, and lots of shellfish on the floor. I don't know what happened there, but yes, we're progressing. Just 3 more kids to go. For a while, nothing of interest happened. We were just doing more gardening, just taking care of the kids, and trying to progress in the cooking career for Zachary, just so we can have more money. I customized Catalina a little bit because she was spending more time outside gardening, so I thought she needed new clothes. And I thought it was an ideal time to, you know, try for another baby because we needed 5 and we only had 2, so it was time for another try. With Zacharino and Caxley, we really tried, you know, we tried to teach them how to use the potty and leave them all day with nannies. Unfortunately, that's just the way we had to do it. And we also got a maid because we just didn't have time to clean. And with 2 kids, it got filthy. Not much was happening, but only when I went back to Sims 4, I realized how less problematic kids are in Sims 3. Yes, you technically have to take care of them more, but there's nothing standing against you. Like, aging up of the kids seems so much easier than in Sims 4, where they just have to find a space to age up, so they walk outside for some reason. It's so strange. Or something as simple as putting them into a chair where they, you know, you give kids food. It's just, in Sims 4, it's a death trap. Like, your Sims don't want to take your kid out of there, and the kid is just sitting there hungry, stinking, because for some reason it just doesn't work in Sims 4. But in Sims 3, I never even thought about taking them out of the chair because everything is done automatically. It's so much easier. Anyway, Catalina was given birth once more. We drove to hospital and we had another baby boy with a very unfortunate name. I meant the game, you know, I think it's a dice game. I just like that name. I spelled it wrong. It's an unfortunate name. We had to get another crib and we were kind of running out of space now. 2 kids and a toddler. It was getting hard. And unfortunately, our fish died. Right? No, our fish died. Both our fish died. Oh my god, this is so sad. At that point, I decided we need some renovation at home, and I have to say, that's one thing about Sims 3 that definitely is not my favorite. Yes, we have the color wheel, which is always a nice touch, because you can customize quite a bit. However, I do not like the building mechanics. It is quite annoying that you have to get all the Sims out of the room to move anything, because they're in the way. While in Sims 4, they just like they're clipped out of the way. Yeah, so we know we got new bed, new things, but it's not the customization I would do in Sims 4, where it just feels more freeing. That's one of the few places where Sims 4 definitely shines over Sims 3. But I think we got some nice customization. And what really annoys me with Sims 3 is the pop-up for microtransactions. No, EA, I don't want to buy your microtransaction items, please. Go away. So yeah, we continue to live with our lives because we did the natural aging up with the Sims. So we waited until their birthday to do the cake rather than aging them up too quickly. So we're just going through motions, doing different missions, and a lot of our items broke. And Catalina was our go-to handy man or handy woman in this occasion. And our TV broke. And in The Sims 3, you just have to think logically. I didn't turn off the TV when I asked her to fix it, and those were the results. She was fine though, fine enough to try for another baby, because we need more. At that point I was slowly giving up on gardening because it was just taking so long and it didn't yield as much money as I wanted to. The quality was getting better, but it just didn't add up to much money. And money was starting to become a problem. Life was good though. We were teaching our kids to talk, and we were trying to improve our skills. It was going great. Well, most of our plants did die, and that made Catalina very sad. But overall, it was great. Before we knew it, we had another kid on the way. A new baby boy. Gutty, and we didn't have the option to choose traits for Gutty, so just clumsy genius. That's fine. That's not the worst traits to have. However, with this many kids at this point, I decided to decrease the lifespan, because I went originally for a long lifespan, because the last time I did the challenge with the writer challenge, my sim was basically dying by the time we managed to finally get close to finishing the challenge. So here I had it at the long lifespan, but I decreased it because it just took too long for the kids to age up, and honestly it wasn't fun and wasn't really adding to a challenge anything. It just took twice as long, but that's not what it was about. I was still enjoying the opportunities, and they were getting more and more interesting. Your rivals in the restaurant business are really doing well and isn't sitting well with the chef. You've been tasked to eat at one of their other restaurants in town, then return to work or report your findings. Watch your back. Yeah, we'll do that. Culinary spy Zachary Simbroja. It has a ring to it. Looking so swaggy. Going back home, at this point, nannies were really earning their keep with the 4 kids constantly crying and pooing and doing other stuff. So honestly, he was doing good work. By the way, what's wrong with the prices in Sims 3? 450 simoleons for a freaking book? That's a joke. At this point, I also was thinking we should try for another baby, but the mood just wasn't there. But we weren't doing that bad, so I decided to upgrade to a new TV, and oh my god, this brings me so back. I had one of these. Bruh. Then came birthdays, so we had 3 birthdays at once. Crazy. Look at him, so young. But he's gonna be growing up very soon. 150 bucks for 5 cakes, bruh. My gosh, the birthdays are ruining us. Bruh. Stay away from the bathroom when Catalina is in there. What the hell? Privacy, okay? Our nanny really loved this beetle. I'm not sure why, but there was something between them. Yahtzee aged up, and our boy Zachary was moving up in his career. Oh my gosh, everything was going great, but unfortunately, we didn't make another baby because Mood wasn't there again. God damn it. But we had another birthday, Gotti aged up, awesome. The party was so good that we finally tried for a baby again, woohoo! So Sims 4 is the game known for Sims randomly getting stuck, but that actually happened to me once in Sims 3. It's them two talking beside my bed. Why were they talking? It's my nanny and my maid. Come on guys, I don't pay you to talk and don't pay you to get me stuck in my own bedroom. Free me please, free me. I want out of here. First she walked in on Catalina in a bathroom, then she tried to just keep her in her bedroom. Something's wrong with this maid. Anyway, last time we tried for a baby, it didn't work, so we tried again. And again, something wasn't working, guys. But our boy Zacharino, our evil genius, aged up, woohoo! And due to excellent parenting skills, we were able to choose traits for Zacharino. Awesome! So I went for ambitious because that fits an evil genius. Since they were twins, Caxley also was aging up. And for her I chose absent-minded, because it just worked with heavy sleeper who loves outdoors aesthetic, I guess. Our kids were aging up, but we just couldn't make another kid. We tried again. And again and again. And actually, some commenter did say that apparently you can try for a baby even if you're already pregnant, because your sim doesn't know that you're already pregnant, so it's not like Sims 4. So, yeah. But I don't think Catalina or Zachary really complained. However, at this point, we were having a problem, because now we no longer needed cribs for Zacharino or Caxley, because they were children. We needed beds, and turns out beds take more room than the cribs. And it turns out we don't have much room, so we had to do a bit of a remodeling. It wasn't looking great because we just didn't have much money. It turns out stuff is actually expensive in Sims 3. So yeah, it wasn't looking the best, but you know what? It was what it was. They all had their own beds at least. That's something, isn't it? Look at them. So cute. I tried to salvage a bit of our garden because we had a mission or opportunity to deliver some, but it wasn't looking great. But we did manage to do it. However, then, Zacharino, oh my god, Zacharino. And he's reading Magnetic Attractions. It's not a book for you, bro. Can we, right, like, how can we, what can we do? Right, call over, bro. What are you doing? Why is he reading that book? Oh, Zacharino. What an evil goofball. Our TV broke again. My gosh, whoever manufactures stuff in the Sims world really needs to, like, up their quality checks, because, bruh, everything breaks. And then something interesting happened, is apparently opportunities also happen to the kids. So, for example, school tasks, like checking the bugs out or doing reports, which is very fun. Other than reading adult novels, our kids were quite good. They were doing the homework by themselves, and honestly, I was really amazed by the schools. So in Sims 4, the kids just disappear into the mist, unless they go to high school, where you have an expansion, you can potentially look at empty school all day. But in here, yes, you can't go into the school, but you see them actually going to school, and they can even hang around on a playground after school, which is, I think, is such a nice touch. This game even have a custom animation for the kids turning around in their sleep. That's so cute. At some point, we fired our nanny and got a new guy who looks so much like Zachary, I was getting confused all the time. And then suddenly, food was just appearing on our counters. I don't understand who was taking it out. It was just randomly always on the counter. Why? It's so cool to see actually school bus pick up the kids. That's so fun. And the kids just loved the box. Honestly, can't blame them. I probably would do the same as a kid. At this point, I kind of realized a probably good idea to try and teach our kids some stuff like potty and other things. With Zacharino and Caxley, we did this, but the more kids we had, the less attention I was paying to them, because just too many. I now understand what parents that have many kids go through, because, yeah, you forget about the youngest ones. talking of the youngest one, here it was, a 5th child. We needed 5, there was the 5th child, and then all we would have to do is get them to teenage age. But then... Woo! Oh my god, and we get to choose a second trade, which is awesome, but she's also easily impressed, so... That's awesome. What are we gonna call? We have such a good track record with names. Caxley, Yahtzee. What are we gonna call? We're gonna call... Gangrena. Right, the Gangrena. And we can choose a new trait. So easily impressed. Let's see. What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? What can you do? Excitable. Easily impressed and excitable. I think that's a good trait. Wait! Wait! We got twins? I don't want that. We want 5 kids, not 6 kids. No, there's no way. Oh my god. We didn't even try this time. Oh my god. She has a genius trait as well. We all geniuses, but oh my, I don't want to have another twins. No, no. Oh my god. We're gonna name her Hi Tuna. Hi Tuna. That's the last kid, I hope. Yes, somehow we got twins, and that made this a little bit more complicated, because instead of 5 kids, we had to now deal with 6 kids at once. And just to remind you, we were on 1 salary. It was getting quite hard to afford anything. This was madness. We had to get 2 more cribs instead of 1, and it was just crazy. At that point, I was just overwhelmed. So let's take a quick break and go back to Sims 4. So with Sims 4, you don't necessarily have the same challenge. There isn't a challenge where you have to raise 5 kids to become teens. Here, it's a big family challenge, which has different steps. So in The Sims 4, the aspiration works slightly differently. You don't just have one aspiration that can do. You can switch between them, and challenges have different levels. It's not just one goal per se. And first one is really easy, just buying some kids' toys. So that was pretty simple. And then, of course, getting pregnant. And as I mentioned earlier, getting pregnant in this game is so freaking easy. You click on the bed and you're pregnant. There isn't any try for baby, just make baby. That's what it should say. As such, we were very quickly with lots of kids. I decided, first of all, to try to do very similar to Sims 3. Start with 2 people having career, but then I just quit with Catalina. Yeah, it's Catalina and Zachary in here as well, and it didn't really matter because Zachary was making enough money for us to not really struggle at all. I did some gardening, but again, it doesn't take too much time, and you don't really have to worry about it too much because it takes a lot for the plants to die in The Sims 4. So I played it very passively, and we got a lot of kids very quickly. It also helps that you can very easily get a trait for your rewards points where you have free services. So you can just have free nannies and free maid service at all times. So unlike Sims 3, I didn't have to pay for it at all. Honestly, it was getting a little bit boring, and there wasn't really that much challenge. The kids were just taken care of by the nannies. The biggest problem was if I tried to take care of the kids, my sim never listened, so it was actually easier to do with the nannies because otherwise you just fight with the controls. It's not necessarily more fun, it's just you click multiple times for anything to be done, which was annoying. As such, just to make it a little more interesting, I got Catalina back to work again after having 3 kids because I needed her to do something. But as such, let's go back to Sims 3. Right, welcome back to The Sims 3 Family Edition. We're playing base game. We have 6 kids because for some reason that's how it turned out. And guys, this is the last episode. I know, it's sad. So sad, but that's just the way it needs to be. Little did I know saying this is that it's gonna take over 5 hours to get to that point at that stage, but that's beside the point. Let's continue. With 6 kids, it was time for some home renovations. Honestly, I was, I was actually struggling. We had to sell the car and a few other things to be able to afford extending the house because the walls are quite expensive. And we really needed to do that because we couldn't fit all the beds in that tiny room. We decided to go for a new bathroom for the kids because also it was kind of getting busy. The bathroom was hard to get to it. So we needed another one and we needed a bigger room. And we bought the kind of the cheapest things we could, and we still struggled to furnish it properly. Honestly, it was kind of getting hard when it comes to money, because we never had more than 1,000 simoleons in the bank. It was a struggle. So I was doing as many of the challenges or the opportunities as I could, like fixing the TV for someone just to get some money back, because we really needed it. Then came Catalina's birthday. Yes, she was becoming full-on adult, finally. After having 6 kids, she's on a full-on adult rather than young adult. So that's cool. Despite looming birthday and having 6 kids, Catalina was trying to find as much time as possible to teach her kids to walk and do other stuff, to try for them to develop well. Because that was one of her wishes as well, for the kids to be growing up well, but it was started to be quite difficult to do. Zachary got another raise, and he stole a few things from work so we could sell them, so we got ourselves a PC for the first time, about 6 hours into this game. And then turned out to be a whole system about buying investment properties and investing properties. I just was confused by this, so I bought a property, but I didn't really know what I was doing, so it was kind of wasted money. This definitely looks like a nice children's bedroom, not a prison. Definitely. Doesn't it? Definitely. I mean, they do have a window, and there's no bars in them. That's something. So yeah, Catalina aged up, and so did Yahtzee. However, due to his difficult upbringing, we were not able to select trade for Yahtzee. Well, we kind of did forget about him and did not really do anything with him, so that makes sense. That made sense. So he became mean-spirited. You know what? It is what it is. Let's talk a little bit about some of the details in The Sims 3. Like, I talk about it all the time, but the fact that every single dish you make has a different animation, with them doing different things on the chopping board, is so cool. And it does match of what kind of dish you make. If you make sushi, it's going to be fish, it's going to be rice, it's going to be cutting the sushi roll. If it is like a lasagna, they're going to be putting, sauce and pasta, all this stuff. It's so cool. It's a tiny little thing, but this makes you want to chase new recipes and try new things, because it's not just different on a plate, it's also different in an actual making of it, which makes me want to get all of them. Which, again, in Sims 4, I never really care about other dishes, because, again, it all looks the same when it's being made, and it doesn't seem to be given other boosts or any other qualities other than the higher level of cooking you are, the better the dish is, but it doesn't really matter what you make at the end of the day. Then I had my second glitch, which made the postbox not being able to be used. I don't know why, but oh well. This house is chaos. The fun thing here is that the families feel like families in Sims 3. They just suddenly decided to play outside together, chase around, which is so fun. And The Sims 4, when they your Sims are idle, they just go and drink a glass of water. I don't know what that's about. And then, our nanny, who looks exactly like Zachary, decided to lay in one of the kids' beds, while the other kids were sleeping. And I was not okay with that, so he got fired. He hired new nannies straight away, because I'm not taking care of the kids on my own, and at least this guy, I was not able to mistake him for Zachary. And then Zachary aged up! Woohoo! One step closer to death, mate. We had so many Sims that birthday just happened all the time. It was crazy. So we had Haituna turn into a child. Then we struggled a bit for Gangrena to blow out the candles, because I guess this cake was in a place where no one could get. Even though they blew out the candles from the cake in that same position before, but it is Sims, so again, things like this have to happen. But yeah, Gangrena finally aged up. Woohoo! Then turned out that Gutty had a trait that made him good at actually playing instruments, so we got a guitar, but unfortunately it seems the kids can't play a guitar. Why? I don't know, but that's what it is. At least we made it cool looking with the color wheel. Why does everything in Sims World break? Oh, why? At least Catalina can fix it. And the new nanny seemed to have a great way with kids, talking about food and stuff. Love that. And PC gaming became a huge hit at the house. Love that. Skate 3, hell yeah. What is with nannies and our beetle? Leave the beetle alone. I did also decide that it's time to get the beetle a table rather than sitting on the floor. With 6 kids, 2 adults, constantly hiring nannies and having a maid service, it was kind of difficult to keep any money. 58 simoleons was what we had in the bank for a lot of times. Cool thing, it seems that your Sims, your kids' Sims, can actually get lifetime wishes as they age up. So you can actually select one for, I think that was Gutty. There's too many kids, so I forget which one is which, but we went for super popular. I don't know what happened to Zachary there, but he was struggling a little bit at work. And it wouldn't be a Sims game without them getting up from bed to collapse, exhausted on the floor. Zacharino, the responsible king, the most responsible person in Simbrosia household. Life was generally good. We were just chilling, having fun with the kids, you know, struggling a little bit financially, but we had fun. We had food, you know. We had everything one needs for life, so it wasn't too bad. Gutty was next to age up, and he also had difficult upbringing because we completely forgot about Gutty. And so he developed can't stand art trait. Bruh. How can anyone hate art like something like this? How can you hate this? Anyway, we had to get more beds because kids can't sleep in cribs. I mean, in real life, you can put them in a crib, but you probably shouldn't, so we had to get a new bed. Room was starting to be a big problem, once again. Then, for some reason, our nanny decided, you know what? I'm not busy enough. There's not enough kids here to occupy me, so let me just play guitar in the middle of the kitchen. Stop doing that. And then Gangrena just constantly sat in a box. I can't blame Gangrena for that because, let's be honest, in such chaos, I also would be sitting in the... Stop playing guitar, bro. Why? This guy is inappropriate. You know what I'm gonna do? No, I'm not gonna fire him. I guess he has more time to himself, seeing that it's not just toddlers anymore. But at the same time, bro, is that appropriate? Taking out my ice cream, putting it on the floor, and then playing my guitar, bruh. As we started to really struggle to even get the babysitter money, we actually got Catalina to go to work, this time in political career. Then the time has come for us to finally have first teenagers. Zacharino made a wish and that started a fire. I don't know if it's just him being evil or a coincidence, but he almost burned out the house with our kids there, and the Sims just decided to interrupt me while the fire was happening to let me know that Caxley has reached her teen years. Angst and raging hormones can make this difficult period for any Sims. Caxley can now join the workforce by taking part-time job, although her grades are still a big factor in her future success. Because, Zacharino didn't manage to age up because he kind of burned out the house instead. But yeah, we finally had 2 teenagers. Well, after we got rid of the fire and saved our children from burning down. He looked just like his father. Oh my gosh. Our little girl growing up so fast. Oh gosh. As a birthday present, I decided to buy them a light. They really appreciated it. Catalina enjoyed performance of our nanny a little bit too much. No, stop watching and use. No, yeah, we got both Caxley and Zacharino to go to job because we're struggling financially. They might as well chip in if they're old enough. Nothing significant was happening really after that. We had our nanny become a full-time busker while our kids aged up. I did realize that the kids probably need some study room, so we have created a little study for them with a desk and a window. Like top of luxury. Also spent like an hour trying to make a perfect recipe for one of the opportunities for Zachary, but it just did not work out. Our house got more and more full of teens. We actually had one of our children finally play the guitar, and look how the nanny is so proud. So proud. Little did he know he's gonna be fired soon, but he was so proud at that moment. With 8 people in the house, I decided maybe it's time to get a new table, finally. And we also got a new console, so that more people can play game at once. It was fun. High Tuna become a child, and so did Gangrena because they're twins. We did a bit more quote-unquote decoration, but we did give them custom bed sheets. That's something. That's high class, isn't it? You know what? I don't think we need the babysitter anymore. Like, honestly. The kids kind of take care of themselves. So, after that, we're gonna fire him. That's gonna be end to... Honestly, to... oh, I need to turn on the music. It's gonna be end to a wonderful, wonderful friendship and whole chapter of our Sims. Alvaro Chandler. Legend that shall never be. Right. Then we suddenly got a call for Zachary to say that a Sim that we know is aging up and soon will be dead. Bruh, I didn't even know he knew this Sim, but we decided to do our first social outing in this playthrough. So Zachary and Catalina went out. What a fancy place. The Catalina got stuck talking to this guy in his underwear all night. Bruh. Talking of social events, we decided to do a party because you know what? Why not? Let's do it. Nice. Right, I feel overwhelmed, but we're gonna buy a cake. But you know what we might buy? We might buy a... We don't have a radio or something, so we can buy that. And have everyone, like, jam out. Oh no, because copyright law is gonna kill me, so... Oh, if I turn it on, and I have music turned off, it'll still play. Oh, it plays, but I can't hear it. Nice. Where's the pizza? Oh my god, I think we... Yay, our pizza! Blow out candles. Who's supposed to go up? Gutty. Oh my god, there's too many people here. Way too many people here. Oh my gosh. Call to meal, everyone. Whoa, this is the biggest social event we have ever did. Woo! Whoa! Yay! We did it. We have another. I'm telling you guys, we have another teenager. All of our fam all together. I love that. I just maybe invited a little bit too many people. Just one or two too many. Oh my gosh. Party was crazy, but then this woman decided to just stay in my house. I don't know why, but she stayed in the house for a long time just playing my guitar. You know what? Each to their own, I don't mind. Then one of our kids invited this guy from school who was just sitting in our kitchen just dancing shirtless. I don't know what that was about, but he was having fun, so you know. Each to their own again. We also found a new problem with having a big family is that the doors are too small. Yeah, too many Sims want to leave at one time, especially with all the schools and work, and they just get stuck in the door. So we got bigger door. I kept getting opportunities with Zachary about making a perfect meal, and I kept trying to do this, cooking over and over and over again, but for some reason it never worked out. I don't know what it was about, but we never got to the perfect meal that we needed for the challenge, unfortunately. And then it happened. A 5th kid became a teen, marking this challenge as completed. What a journey this was. Honestly, I had so much fun trying to complete this challenge, and it was a struggle, not gonna lie. It was probably a little bit easier than the writing challenge and more fun, because there were so many things happening with so many Sims, but it was difficult, but it was so fun. It's hard to exactly say how many hours it all took me, because I have cut down the videos so many times. It's probably is around 10 hours, even more, to complete this challenge, and I could have keep going and try to get all the children to adults and everything, but this challenge ended here, and it was super fun. My biggest reflection in Sims 3 Family Challenge was that there's so much depth in this game, and this is, again, a base game, and families feel so full that, you know, the kids have opportunities at school, they can do part-time job, which you also have opportunities in, they have their own little goals and aspirations, they have, like, their little personalities, and it's really shows it. They don't feel just like inconveniences like they do in Sims 4. I never play as family in Sims 4 because it's just inconvenient. It's not fun. Here they added so much light, so much fun into the life of my Sims that I just enjoyed it so much. Which brings me back to The Sims 4, because again, in this video I wanted to kind of see the difference between the two, and I have to say Sims 4 Family Challenge is not it. Sims 4 has a few different family aspirations, and one of them, the one that I chose, the big house or big family aspiration, is all about having kids, them kids having their own kids, and you being friends with everyone, and it just feels like a waste of time. Because the kids, as I mentioned, in Sims 4 are just a nuisance. Even with all the packs that we have the, I don't know, growing up together or whatever, the pack is called. The generation version of the Sims 4 DLC was just not great. It was just not great to play as families, because the children, especially from infant to like a kid, they're just getting annoying. Once the child is semi-independent and can bring their own food, it's fine. But then the game fights you at every stage, because your Sim doesn't want to take the kid out of the little feeding chair, doesn't want to pick up the kid, doesn't want to wash it, and it's just like keeps cancelling the actions. It's just not fun. And yes, in The Sims 3 I have utilized the nannies, and so I did in The Sims 4. But in Sims 3, there was still those little interactions with the kids that were fun. Just watching them like play and stuff was interesting, with those little animations, little details. They just randomly started chasing each other outside. There was so much life, so much. There was that bit of realism in the way the kids acted, and that made it much more fun for me. With The Sims 4, I have given up on the challenge. I wanted to complete the challenge, see how long it's gonna take. But it's just tedious of just waiting for the kids to age up, them get married, get more kids of their own, and it just wasn't fun. But Sims 3 Families is awesome. I have to say, even if if you want to play Sims and you want to find some, you don't have any DLCs or anything, I would say buy Sims 3 base game. Yes, it doesn't run the best. It does require like a patch to work, but the amount of actual content that it has compared to Sims 4 with all the DLC, it's crazy. And it's also a completely different experience. With Sims 4, I do like it, but it is all about how you personally make your own fun. It is a sandbox in which you can make your own scenarios, a role play and all that stuff. But in Sims 3, it is a life simulation. You do feel like you have a little family. You do feel like having like those connections with other Sims, because it just feels much more natural, the way they react to each other, the way they interact with each other. And yeah, I absolutely love this game, and I can't wait to play more. Honestly, I did not think at the beginning of this year that Sims 3 is going to be the game that's going to be obsessing with this year, but I'm definitely wanting to play more. I'm hoping to play more DLC, because again, I haven't even installed a single DLC this year. It's all been base game Sims 3, and I can't wait to check out the World Adventures and all other DLC that I already own, but I just need to install them. So what would you like us to do next? Because I'm definitely want to play the World Adventures. Let me know if there's any other kind of ideas you have for playing The Sims 3. Should we compare The Sims 3 to Sims 4 World Adventure? We don't really have a world adventure per se in Sims 4, but there are a few of those kind of little packs which gets you into a jungle and stuff. So let me know what you think. Subscribe if you like this video. And yeah, also follow me on Twitch, on TikTok, because we do live streams there. And yeah, I shall see you next time. Bye!